think?
I think it's a good appointment. There's been a lot of speculation. I think it's been on the cards the last few months. I think the club would be glad just to get the deal done. He can now start looking at the club and start working in the background. Obviously, officially doesn't come on board for another month or two. He's got a solid CV. He's got a very good reputation. But I suppose the proof's in the pudding. We'll know better when he's into the job and he gets the backing and the support and hopefully given a little bit of power to get Man United back competing at the top. Right now, that seems like a long way off. It feels like a huge job that he's got on his hands. How does he have some early wins, do you think? Well, I think, again, we go back to it. You look at this United team and what he'll be looking at is you've got to try and get a group of players or the players on side that will give everything for the cause, that will be hard to beat, and will hopefully have a style of play that brings, gets entertains the fans and get back United to winning. But it's, as we know, we'll use the word, it's a rebuilding job. He's fortunate, I think, coming in the summer, there's 5 or 6 big players who are on big contracts who are obviously already leaving. I think that will help. And I think every Man United manager always, they do get back in. He will get some money to spend, but it's getting, again, the right players, the right characters into the club, because what we've seen the last few months just hasn't been good enough from this group of players. They don't look... We talk about giving everything for the cause. These players don't do that. We've been trying to ask the question, what are they actually getting in Erik ten Hag? Jamie, we've done some digging around numbers in the Champions League this season, in which Ajax and Manchester United were both competing, and Ajax under Erik ten Hag topped their group but went out in the last 16 to Benfica. But while they were involved, they were doing very nicely, averaging the second most goals per game, the most touches in the opposition box. Only Liverpool and Bayern Munich enjoyed more possession this season. Only Liverpool won more possession in the final third. You can see how high they are in terms of shots for high turnovers. They like to win the ball high up the pitch. He likes crossing teams as well. They're third on that list. And also you see as well, he likes his defenders involved in attacks. Only Liverpool, again, higher in those bottom 2 categories, which both tell us a little bit about the kind of style we might expect, in contrast to what we're seeing from Manchester United. Yeah, don't look at the right-hand column for sure. But if you looked at what he's done at Ajax, he's done a good job in the Dutch model. They play out from the back, and I think that will obviously be will work with what modern teams try to do. High pressing, lots of possession. There'll be a exciting team on paper, but it doesn't matter. He's got to get the recruitment right here, because I can't imagine now. Jurgen Klopp or Pep Guardiola all of a sudden frightened because Ten Hag's coming. It will be more the recruitment, the players. That's when we'll learn what Manchester United are doing in the future, because there's every chance it could get worse before it gets better. That could also happen. Now he's going to need backing, he's going to need a lot of support. The fans are going to have to get behind him. But what they've got is a manager in place, because they've been messing around for a few years now. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was a temporary manager, gave him the job, but sort of gave him the job. Rangnick's been in here now. He's got a massive job to do, because he's now will be going back to the manager and saying, he's a good lad. Yeah, you want him with you. He's not the sort of guy you want in the trenches with you. And Roy will know that as well. You need to know the good players and the good people that are going to be here for the future to get Manchester United back to where they were. Let's bring Gary Neville into this conversation. Gary, a few clues then around style. What else is important, do you think? Character, leadership?
Obviously, not going to be able to do that, I think, in one transfer window. I mean, if you look at those stats, and you were one of the Manchester United players in the dressing room, you'd be a little bit worried, because Ralph Rangnick came here as a pressing guru, and he's not been able to get anything out of them on that front. In fact, he's referred to their lack of physicality I don't know how many times in his interviews in the last few weeks. So if Erik ten Hag is going to be really brutal, like Jurgen Klopp was when he first went into Liverpool and got rid of Benteke, or when Joe Hart was let go by Pep Guardiola, he's going to be letting a lot of this lot go, because they can't press high up the pitch, they haven't got the physicality, they don't want to win the ball back early, they don't chase down and hunt together. Now, you could point towards a coaching thing, but that's not happened under Ole. It's not happened now under someone who's been renowned for playing that type of system throughout his sort of coaching career and his other roles. So I think there's going to be a massive, massive change, and obviously 5 or 6 of them are going anyway because they're out of contract, but I could see probably even more being let go, and a real brutal sort of, if you like, transition. Character and personality... I know it's used a word that's used a lot by us all, and I think we've got to be sort of probably more specific about what we mean of that. When you see sort of character and personality at Manchester City, there are players who, they're not warriors, as in sort of, you know, they're not wandering around having stitches in the head, but they've got fantastic personalities and characters, you know, the likes of Foden, the likes of the bravery of De Bruyne to always take the ball, the bravery of the goalkeeper to always take the ball and sort of be courageous and set the attacks off. They've all got a personality and a character, even though they're not shouters and screamers and things like that. And I think the way in which Erik ten Hag will want sort of personality and character is that they have players with authority on the ball who can go to Anfield, like the Manchester United team didn't last week, take the ball under pressure, make sure they handle that Anfield crowd, not necessarily sort of come in and start organising and shouting and bawling and asking for sort of demands from people. Just the basics, really, of a good football team nowadays, which is different than what we sort of, if you like, had in our team, which is, you know, good football players, but we also had big, dominant personalities. I don't think they exist too much anymore.
We're obviously watching, Gary, as well, a relentless title race between Manchester City and Liverpool, and you'd have seen the news that Jurgen Klopp's staying for even longer. I think you've said yourself that a title challenge for Manchester United feels like a long way off. So what should be the short-term targets for Erik ten Hag?
Yeah, I think in the first couple of seasons to re-establish Champions League football, to strengthen the hand in the transfer market, improve obviously the finances at the club through that as well, is a priority. And then obviously if they can get a trophy, this team, because obviously this team haven't won a trophy for a few years now, so if they can get a cup competition and pay attention in the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup, which has not always happened, that would, I think, be the priority in the first 2 seasons. And then in sort of year 3 and 4, they've got to start getting closer to the title. But I said it was going to be 4 or 5 years. 4 or 5 years wasn't just a guess. It was based on the amount of recruitment that Ten Hag will have to do to get the style of play and the transition that's going to happen this summer. Him to get his feet under the table and sort of build something, but also just the excellence of the other 2 or 3 teams that are up there at this moment in time. And if Klopp's going to be around for 4 years and Pep Guardiola's going to be around for 2 or 3 years, that's going to be an incredibly difficult job for those players there.